and I believe she's brought in some little mandarins here for us, and she's going to actually guide us through some mindful eating. Is that right, Lina?
Yes, that's right.
Amazing. I'm going to let you take full center stage.
So I might invite you to just first find a comfortable seated position on your stool and just take a deep breath in and a long breath out, and another deep breath in and full breath out. Just connecting with yourself and bringing your attention to your own body. Just feeling what you're feeling this morning. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes and looking at this Mandarin as if it's for the first time in your life. As if you had never seen a Mandarin before. As if you came from another planet where there were no Mandarins. And just appreciating what's in front of you with this beginner's mind. And then potentially just grating the Mandarin with your nail, just allowing a little bit of skin to be removed so that the smell when you bring it to your nose is a bit stronger and you can really take it in. And becoming aware of that smell, just allowing your eyes to rest again on the Mandarin, appreciating the light and how the light is actually reflecting the Mandarin right now, and also looking at that, let's call it the little belly button of the Mandarin, that part of the Mandarin where it used to be connected to the tree, remembering how it was to be connected to the tree and how your own belly button may remind you as well where you are coming from. Appreciating the texture of the skin on the Mandarin, particular vibrant orange color. And we are now going to just start removing the peel, but as you do, if you can actually just slow down that movement and appreciate the sound that comes as you are removing that skin and revealing the inside of the Mandarin. And appreciating the texture under your fingers, the little white filament that are connecting the fruit to its skin, remembering what it was before it was a fruit. And we're just going to slowly detach one segment and again observe what is in front of you. It's almost like a miracle in itself when you look at it. It's actually quite extraordinary that this came into being. And as we are bringing it to our mouth, just being aware of the taste in your mouth this morning and any sensation that are currently in your mouth, any potential dryness. And as we're going to bite into the Mandarin, I'm just inviting you to just enjoy that first splash of juice as it hits your mouth, your throat. Noticing the sounds as you chew on the Mandarin and noticing the movement of your teeth as they squash this Mandarin into a little puree. Appreciating how the tongue knows how to go and get the little bits of the Mandarin that are still between your teeth, and how long it actually takes to truly chew that little bit that you have taken. We tend to usually gulp our food, so just becoming aware of the importance of chewing and taking the time to chew, and noticing after you have eaten how long that taste lingers into your mouth, and how much more aware you are of the smells, of the taste, of the sounds even around you, of all that your eyes are able to take just in this moment. Feeling your body sitting on the chair, feeling the taste and the bits in your mouth, all the sensations that you're currently aware of. And then taking a deep breath again in gratitude for all that we are given at each moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. What an experience. It's such a beautiful thing to really slow down and to really see where, as I said earlier, where your food's coming from, but appreciate those tastes in your mouth. And is this a taste of how your mindful cooking workshops go? Or is it a bit more focused on the art of actually mindful cooking? Or do you also practice mindful eating?
We definitely practice mindful eating at the end of the session. But I'm from Morocco. I don't know if I told you that. And I think it's important for me to bring the richness of Moroccan cooking, but also teach people how to appreciate the cooking process in itself, so that even as they chop or as they peel, they can transform that moment into a moment for their mind to rest. So either bringing, like we just did while eating, but bringing their attention to all the senses as they're doing what they're doing, or practicing different breaths, different pranayama, as they're chopping the vegetable, because like we always say, oh, we don't have time to practice. But if you transform that moment into a moment where you practice deep breath or different pranayama techniques, then your practice is done, you know, and then you remember to do it because you have associated it to something that you need to do anyway. So you could perfectly do it as you're washing the dishes or
interesting. Do you ever incorporate like Kapalabhati breathing? Because I feel like that would be quite a difficult pranayama to practice while you're chopping, you know. It could almost go well depending on your chopping style.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's important for me to allow people to have a good time during the class and to relate to each other. So we do practice, for example, even the mindful listening I mentioned. We do that in every class. Before we actually start the class, we have people talking about what's their relationship to food, and have the person in front of them truly listening with all their body. And then people discover amazing things about their own relationship to food. They never thought about it. And then they also discover that we all have different stories about our relationship to food. For some people, it's just a fuel. For others, it brings memories of family. For others, it's an important way to take care of themselves during the day and treat their body as a temple. And it's quite amazing to just see the variety of attitudes and how our relationship to food can reveal so much about our relationship to life.
100%. I definitely come from a background of foodies. My dad was a chef, my brother's a chef, and I've worked in hospitality for about 15 years myself. And I guess if we were to have a family mantra, it would go somewhere along the lines of, my dad would always say something to me when I was a child, and he would say, you know, if we have nothing else, our family will always eat well.
Oh, beautiful.
And I really think that that's a beautiful view to have, because, you know, it's a great mantra, because it doesn't matter what else you have. It doesn't matter about the clothes on your back or the house that you live in, or, you know, any of it. None of it matters. You know, we don't take any of it to the grave, but we only get one body to walk us through this life, and to be able to fuel that body in a good way, so that you can show up and be the best version of yourself every day, and you have energy to be able to come into this world every day, then I think that that is an amazing mantra. And I look back on it now and I'm like, oh God, Dad was so switched on, you know?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I mean, you know, like, you truly are what you eat. So I think it's really important when you eat well, you become well, you know, like it's
I loved in the meditation just then when you were talking about the belly button of the fruit.
Oh, yes.
And it's so relational to us, you know, when you think about where we come from, and we have our belly button and we get all our nutrients through our umbilical cord while we're in the womb.
Yes.
And we're connected to our mother through that. Yeah. And then when we go through the birthing process, you know, they cut that cord and we sort of go through the separation and become our own little thing. And it's very similar for fruit, you know?
Absolutely.
But we don't recognize that, you know. The umbilical cord is the little branch that connects to the mandarin, and then there's the little belly button on the mandarin where it receives the nutrients, and then, you know, its birth is when it's picked off the tree and taken to a shop or a store where we go and buy it.
Absolutely.
But we don't really think about that, do we?
That's so true. Exactly.
Very, very interesting stuff. Can you tell us maybe who would be attracted, like,
Sure.
who are the people that generally are showing up at your mindful cooking workshops?
Yeah.
Are they just real variety of people, or?
Well, I noticed that I very often have couples coming because they find that first it's a great experience to share as a couple, but it's also something that they can take away and start practicing a bit more at home. Like, it really brings them together, and there is that sense of shared joy as they cook their next meals. And very often people tell me about the recipes that they have kept cooking and that became, you know, like almost their staple, which is really nice. I also had moms and daughters. They also seem to have that special relationship, and again, like, for me, food is such an amazing way to carry on culture. The way I cook is definitely inspired by how my mom cooked, and I know that the way she cooked was also inspired by her own mom. And I think that, of course, because we all live busy lives these days, it's becoming harder and harder to pass on that knowledge from mom to daughter, or mom to son, or dad to son.
I guess a lot of parents maybe don't even cook these days.
That's right, that's right. So I think that the people that come are aware that there is also something that they can not only share but transmit a bit more of, and that creates great memories, because, of course, like, when we are engaging all our senses, and food is like also symbolic of lots of celebration, etc. Like, if you remember your birthdays or other celebration, like, there's always food involved. So
always.
So I think that by bringing moms and kids, or dads and kids together, I think that there is really that sense of carrying on something. So and then also have, of course, single people that do come and get to meet other single people, or get to make new friends. And the comment that comes very often after a class is like, oh my God, like, we came as strangers and now I really feel like we're family. Yeah. And that's always extraordinary, because, of course, food bonds us, and what I say is that because we become what we eat, the fact that we are eating the same thing, and especially something that we have all contributed to create, by eating the same thing, there's a little part of us that's always going to be in common, because this is what we have created, this is what we ate together.
Exactly.
So that
if we look at it
now,
from an energetic form, if you like, every food carries a different energy.
Yes.
And you can see that through the colors that we have. If you're looking at color therapy or something like that, you know, the idea of eating a rainbow, but by sharing that experience and taking in those energies together, you are essentially becoming, you know, on the same sort of frequency or on the same energy as the other people around you that you're sharing the meal with. So I guess for me, that's why people come together, and why people eat a meal together is to share in that experience, to share in that energy that they're taking in, that's becoming a part of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's such a powerful thing. Eamon, you're very quiet in the corner over there.
Well, sometimes it's good to listen, right?
Beautiful.
Yes, yes, very good to listen. Do you want to give us a little bit of information about your workshop coming up on the 28th of October? I know it's very exciting. And so yeah, it's at the 28th of October. And where is the workshop being held?
So it's held in a beautiful Juanita Nielsen Center in Woolloomooloo. It has just been renovated, and the beautiful thing about it is that there are individual cooking stations. And the workshop is held from 10:45 to 2:45, so that we do cook and eat together. If we have beautiful weather, we will be able to eat outside on a long table.
Beautiful.
And yes, it's a really amazing opportunity to learn 7 dishes.
7 dishes?
Yeah, we're
Wow.
actually cooking
That's a
a
lot.
mindful Moroccan feast.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
So it'll be really colorful and extraordinarily tasty.
Yeah, beautiful.
So you can find all the details on mindfulcooking.com.au, and I think that the Bondi Beach Radio will probably also share the links. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, amazing. And do you have some information on your upcoming workshop, which is this Saturday, which is with your macro leaders business?
Yes. So this Saturday we will be at Work Club, which is, it feels like being in the library of a very posh house. It's beautiful with all the books on the shelves and very comfortable chairs and a view on the city and on the park. It's on 99 Elizabeth Street. It's an opportunity to come together and talk about what do we do when difficult times hit. And it could be a divorce, it could be a death, it could be a disaster, it could be any of the big D's, as Patriarchy says.
We all have difficulties.
That's right. And it's amazing that we are at the beach today and I could look at the waves, because really one of my favorite quotes is by John Kabat-Zinn, and he says, "You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf."
Yeah.
And I have created my own model called Surf, which is a very easy way for people to remember what to do when a crisis hits. So I could go into it now, or we could do that after the break if you want, but as you want.
Yeah, well, we might play a song first, and then when we come back you can give us a little bit of information about surf. And yeah, I'll leave you with this. This is such a party song, I love it. So much fun.